The 2024 Game Awards ended days ago, and once again, some of the more eventful moments to come out of that show were game trailers. Sega produced 3. There was a brief trailer, gameplay free, featuring Shadow the Hedgehog speeding off in Sonic Racing Crossworlds. And there were also 2 new games, revealed from Sega's own Ryoga Gotoku Studios. Most dramatically, of course, being the revelation of a new Virtua Fighter game. The first new Virtua Fighter game in almost 20 years. And there was also the announcement of Project Century, which looks like it could be a spin-off within the Yakuza series. We hardly know anything about any of these new games. And that's fine, that's normal. But has everyone already forgotten last year? Whatever happened to Sega's so-called Power Surge? It's been over a year since Sega's big announcement at the 2023 Game Awards, and we still know next to nothing about any of these hypothetical games. To refresh your memory, over a year ago, Sega produced an elaborate trailer demonstrating their commitment to making good use of their dormant IPs, something Sega has struggled to do for the last 30 years. In the trailer, Sega revealed that they are working on new games for the following series: Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Crazy Taxi. This got a lot of people excited, and it was one of the most noteworthy events at the 2023 Game Awards. I even made a video about it a year ago, but it's been that long and basically nothing new has happened. Sega has produced no new official updates for any of these games, and it makes me wonder what's going on. Did they change their mind? Let's examine what little information actually is available. Golden Axe is a nebulous one. Some new rumors about the game were revealed by the notorious leaker Midori on X, before he mysteriously disappeared from the platform. According to Midori, Golden Axe was supposed to be released in 2023, but was delayed indefinitely. It's not even clear who's actually making the game, but if this art style is any indicator, then it's a safe bet that it's probably by one of the Western studios owned by Sega Sammy. My current guess is that it's being made by the British studio Creative Assembly, the developers of Alien Isolation and the Total War series. Sega Sammy owns Creative Assembly outright, and it's fitting that an official Sega subsidiary would be working on a premium Sega IP like Golden Axe. Further, Creative Assembly doesn't really have that much in their pipeline that would be in the way. Their last big game was supposed to be a PUBG-style first-person shooter called Hyenas, a game that took like 6 years and supposedly tens of millions of dollars to produce, only to be cancelled almost as soon as it was revealed to the public. Hyenas was effectively bullied off of the internet because, well, this is what the game looked like, and no one, including myself, was all that enthusiastic. Therefore, Sega unceremoniously canceled the game soon after. So I'd say that this implies that Creative Assembly has freed up some resources to work on a major project like Golden Axe. My other best guess would be that the game is being made by Hardlight Studios, another British game studio owned by Sega, who has a long history of making Sega-based games for mobile devices. And if I'm being honest, Golden Axe here definitely looks like a mobile game. Let's take a look at Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio was the biggest, most hyped up part of the Power Surge reveal, and yet, as of now, we know next to nothing about the game on an official level, other than that Sega wants it to be an open world game similar to games like Grand Theft Auto. Once again, Midori the leaker claims that it's being made using the Unreal Engine, and he also offers unsubstantiated claims that Sega is actually working on 2 separate games simultaneously. A full-priced remake of the original game alongside a reboot, which will be a free-to-play live service game similar to games like Fortnite. There's been a few images here and there on the internet, a couple video clips, but really there's not much more to say about Jet Set Radio, other than that it exists. Now let's look at Streets of Rage. It's pretty much a safe bet that Streets of Rage Revolution, a new 3D beat-em-up, is being made by the Canadian studio known as Komi Games. Streets of Rage Revolution, with all of its neon, closely matches the art and style of Komi's Mighty Fight Federation, and Komi themselves let the cat out of the bag when they publicly advertised that they're looking for artists to help create a new Sega game. They made this post in January of 2023, so if we're right, then Streets of Rage Revolution has been underway for almost 2 years now. Yet we still don't know anything about it at all. After 2 years and so little information, I'm inclined to think the game is either cancelled or that Sega will finally reveal something in the coming months. Theoretically, this should probably come out this year. Crazy Taxi. With Crazy Taxi, Sega's been a little more forthcoming. In February 2024, Takaya Sagawa from Sega's Sapporo-based studio, the studio in charge of Phantasy Star Online, revealed that they were in fact helping work on Crazy Taxi and that it was going to be a AAA game. What does that actually mean, other than that it's going to cost like $60? I haven't got the foggiest. In July of 2023, TheDrive.com put out an amazing article revealing that Sega does, in fact, intend the new Crazy Taxi game to be a very large game, incorporating an open-world environment and a massive multiplayer component, very similar to what's planned for Jet Set Radio. Oddly, this is another game that Midori claims that there's going to be 2 different versions of: a new full-priced remake, alongside a free-to-play reboot with microtransactions. Sega Sapporo confirms they're working on a AAA Crazy Taxi game, so it is possible that they're making the remake and someone like, say, Hardlight Studios is making the reboot. But this is confusing because cell phone games are essentially what Sega Sapporo was created to generate and maintain, and this live service reboot of Crazy Taxi sure sounds like it's a game made for phones. So I don't know what's going on, but actual gameplay of at least one new Crazy Taxi game featuring a competitive multiplayer mode leaked online late in 2024. This is significant because in the original Power Surge trailer, outside of Jet Set Radio and Shinobi, precious little actual footage was shown of gameplay. So this is really our first glimpse into what this game is actually going to be like. I'm not going to show the leaked footage here because Sega didn't intend for us to see it, but at the very least I can confirm that the game appears to be well underway and it looks fully playable. If you check out my sources in the video description, you'll see that there are publications online that talk about the leak and shared links to the actual footage. Check it out! Finally, there's Shinobi, a game that even back during the Power Surge trailer appeared to be the one closest to becoming an actual reality. While no official information has been released, Shinobi has also had a ton of leaks, and we have a very good idea of who's making the game, what it looks and plays like, and essentially what it's going to be. The game is being done by the French developer Lizard Cube, possibly in conjunction with .emu, and of course everyone remembers their work on Streets of Rage 4 a few years back. Shinobi is very clearly in their art style, and they've dropped hints in the past that this was in fact their work. So that's exciting, but of course we've also seen more gameplay footage and it appears like things are going well. Again, I'm reticent to show the actual leaked footage, but it's apparent to me that Shinobi will be based on enhanced Shinobi 3 for the Sega Genesis gameplay mechanics. So there's going to be wall jumping, hanging, climbing, and of course a ton of shuriken throwing. Shoot, at some point you even get to ride a horse! Essentially, it's a classic 2D side-scroller but fully loaded with a lot of impressive cel-shaded graphical flair, and it looks promising. However, so far there's no release date, and I wonder if Sega intends this to pair with their new Shinobi movie that's being directed by Sam Hargrave for Universal. I certainly hope we don't have to wait that long, but maybe? So in summary, Sega announced 5 new games a year ago as part of their new Power Surge, and then after a year of no updates, they announced 3 brand new games days ago, as if the Power Surge thing never happened. Was it an oversight? Did Sega change their minds? I can't say. Shinobi looks like it's a sure thing at this point. We know who's making it, we've seen footage, and it all looks great. I expect the game to come out sometime this year, and I'm sure everyone's gonna really like it. We also know that Sega Sapporo Studios is working on a AAA Crazy Taxi game, and that Sega is also definitely trying to get something new out of the Jet Set Radio concept, but both projects are probably far from complete. These games are all likely to exist in the future, and over the last year, they've generated a certain amount of buzz and conversation. However, I'm not so optimistic about either Streets of Rage Revolution or Golden Axe. Streets of Rage Revolution seems to have been in development for a very long time, and that's an ominous sign. Sega in recent years has shown that they are more than willing to cancel a game that they think will embarrass the company. Look no further than Hyenas. And if Midori's right about Golden Axe and it's also been delayed for a long time, then it's possible that Sega has had no choice but to halt the excitement surrounding the whole Power Surge concept. Actually, this could be a good sign. After all, it demonstrates that Sega is committed to a higher standard than in recent years, and that they're not going to be a company resting upon the glories of their now distant past. Sega's new president, Shuji Utsumi, publicly admitted that Sonic Superstars was a disappointment, that the game wasn't as good as it needed to be. And that's rough. But at the same time, Sonic Shadow Generations has been a surprise commercial and critical success for the company, and Utsumi recognizes that too, and he's willing to pursue it. It's clear that under Shuji Utsumi's leadership, Sega is poised to move into a better direction. Perhaps it's not going to be the Power Surge that we all hope for, and maybe the Sega brand isn't what it used to be. But at the same time, Sega hasn't been this exciting in decades. Hit movies? Critically acclaimed games? A new Virtual Fighter? Sign me up, dudes! It's exciting to see where things are going to go from here. So what do you think of Sega's current direction? Did you all forget about the Power Surge 2? And which of these games do you actually look forward to playing? Please let us know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching. Bye bye now.